Education must enable one to sift and weigh evidence, to discern the true from the false, the real from the unreal, and the facts from the fiction. Freedom is not won by a passive acceptance of suffering. Freedom is won by a struggle against suffering. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Believe in your dreams, and they may come true. Believe in yourself, and they will surely come true. We have guided missiles and misguided men. Only in the darkness we can see the stars. Of all the forms of inequality, injustice in health is the most shocking and the most inhuman, because it often results in physical death. It is wrong to use immoral means to attain moral ends. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance. Perhaps the South, the nation, and the world are in dire need of creative extremists. Western arrogance of feeling that it has everything to teach others and nothing to learn from them is not just. The means we use must be as pure as the ends we seek. There are those who write history. There are those who make history. There are those who experience history. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. In country after country, we see white men building empires on the sweat and suffering of colored people. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Never must the church tire of reminding men that they have a moral responsibility to be intelligent. What you're saying may get you a foundation grant, but it won't get you into the kingdom of truth. I look to a day when people will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. If a man has not discovered something that he will die for, he isn't fit to live. To attempt radical reform without adequate organization is like trying to sail a boat without a rudder. There comes a time when the cup of endurance runs over. Justice at the deepest level had but few stalwart champions. All progress is precarious, and the solution of one problem brings us face to face with another problem. I am convinced that, in the struggle for righteousness, man has cosmic companionship. If you sow the seeds of violence in your struggle, unborn generations will reap the whirlwind of social disintegration. The end of life is not to be happy, nor to achieve pleasure and avoid pain, but to do the will of God, come what may. The solution to poverty is to abolish it directly by a now widely discussed measure, the guaranteed income. Deep in our history of struggle for freedom, Canada was the North Star. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. And if you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. No problem is solved when we idly wait for God to undertake full responsibility. A man's life was sacred only if we agreed with his views. With initial success, every social revolution simultaneously does two things. It attracts to itself fresh forces and strength, and at the same time, it crystallizes the opposition. I will do everything in my power to make it so by outspoken agreement whenever proper, and determined opposition whenever necessary. Unfortunately, when hope diminishes, the hate is often turned most bitterly toward those who originally built up the hope. Time itself is neutral. It can be used either destructively or constructively. I always try to do a little converting when I'm in jail. No revolution is executed like a ballet. Its steps and gestures are not neatly designed and precisely performed. It is an aspect of their sense of superiority that the white people of America believe they have so little to learn. In short, the Negro's problem cannot be solved unless the whole of American society takes a new turn toward greater economic justice. There is an almost universal quest for easy answers and half-baked solutions. Nothing pains some people more than having to think. You know there comes a time when time itself is ready for change. Prayer is a marvelous and necessary supplement of our feeble efforts. Human progress depends on the socially maladjusted. Tokenism is a promise to pay. Democracy, in its finest sense, is payment. There comes a time when people get tired of being trampled over by the iron feet of oppression. Nonviolence is not sterile passivity, but a powerful moral force which makes for social transformation. I am convinced that even violent temperaments can be channeled through nonviolent discipline if they can act constructively and express through an effective channel their very legitimate anger. We cannot long survive spiritually separated in a world that is geographically together.